Hey, I want to take a second today to address the shooting of three officers in Baton Rouge. I'm sure most everyone out there has heard about it. It appears they were ambushed. Now, I can't say that for certain yet, but that's what it looks like. For all I know, they rolled up on someone that was open carrying and started firing, and he shot back, and all of them died in the gunfire, or he ran away. I'm not really sure what happened yet, but it appears they were ambushed. And President Obama has come out and made a statement on this, and he said that this was a heinous act. This was, a horrible act by cowards, and I will agree with that. This is a heinous act of cowards. But he also went on to say that, there's never any reason to harm a police officer. Well, I disagree with that part, because if you're an innocent citizen and you're not doing anything wrong, and a police officer, either through gross negligence or dereliction of duty or just being a dick, endangers your life, he actually becomes an active threat to you, you have every right to defend yourself, up to and including deadly force. So I don't agree with that last part. But like I said, I do agree with the first part, where this is a heinous act of cowards, most likely. I do agree that this is not the thing to do, and for multiple reasons. For one, you're not hurting someone that's doing something wrong when you're gunning down innocent police officers. Let's remember, these are innocent citizens. These are people with families. These are people that have done nothing wrong, most likely. And you're hunting them like they're animals just because you're angry at a broken system. They're not the system. They're just pawns of the system. You're not helping your cause whatsoever. You're just making yourself a heinous, cowardly murderer. And no one's going to support you. They're actually going to support the police officers, and they should support the police officers when you do this. And let's say you're someone who thinks that you're a freedom fighter. You think you're fighting back against the broken system. Like I said, you're not fighting the system. You're hurting innocent individuals. But even if you thought you were fighting the system, you're not fighting the system. You're enabling the system. You're giving that system more power over you. Do you think law enforcement is suddenly going to go, oh, I guess we've been wrong all these years? The fact that we've been acting as an independent power with no accountability and no oversight, I guess we need to stop doing that. No, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to say, hey, this is reason for us to crack down even harder and take even more power. You're giving them exactly what they want. You're giving them the perfect excuse to crack down on people's rights and turn this into a police state. And we don't have to wait to see this happen. This isn't just a theory. This just isn't a hypothesis. It's actually happening already. The police in Ohio are asking the governor to suspend the rights of citizens based on the whims of the police officers. They're asking for people to not be allowed to open carry, and they're even wanting people to not be allowed to conceal carry. There's some organizations, some police unions are coming saying, well, it's not just open carry, it's the problem. It's also concealed carry. We're more worried about the ones that hide their guns. So we want to do something about that. So you can see they're already trying to impose martial law in Ohio based on this act. And you might be inclined to just sit back and say, oh, they're just being cautious. They're just taking some precautions to make sure nothing happens to anyone. It's for everybody's better good. Well, imposing martial law on innocent citizens is never for anyone else's good. It's only for the good of the people in power and for their puppets, the militarized police. And that's what this is. There's no other way to describe a police union asking the governor to suspend the rights of citizens based on the desires of its officers. That is martial law. That is overriding your rights based on the whim of a few individuals in power. Luckily, the governor of Ohio is saying he doesn't want to go along with this. But think if this was happening in California, do you think the governor of California would say no? He'd be like, damn tootin', yeah, let's do that. Let's suspend all rights for people to own guns. Or somewhere in a state that wasn't as gun friendly as Ohio. You could see this very easily happening. And once it happens, it's not likely to go away. It's not like they're going to say, okay, you can have all your rights back now. Once they suspend rights once, it's really hard to get them back. And like I've already said, we already have law enforcement agencies in this country acting above the law. They act without oversight. They act without accountability. The only people that police them are themselves. The prosecutors that work with them every day are the people that are supposed to be holding them accountable. They're not doing that. So to allow them to now start setting the laws also, police officers are supposed to enforce the law, not set the laws. Now they're even wanting to set the law that they abuse. So that is a really dangerous step, if you ask me. When we start allowing police to set the laws that they enforce, that's a really dark day in this country. When we start allowing politicians to suspend rights because the police ask them to, that's definitely a dark day in this country. And when you're out there shooting innocent police officers, and yes, I know some people are going to say no police are innocent. I agree. No policeman is totally innocent because they allow a system to exist where they defend every cop, even if they're bad, simply because they're a cop. So none of them are totally innocent, but they definitely don't deserve to be executed. And when you go around executing these people, all you're doing is causing one more dark cloud to be in the sky, and you're pushing this country towards a really dark day.